What's up everybody, and thank you for joining me for another video. My name is Whack4863, but you can call me Whack. In today's video we are covering Journey of Life, and it is a survival game that's out on Steam. It is $14.99 currently, and I want to thank the devs for sending me a key for this game. Now, I got this game and I didn't realize that it wasn't early access after I booted it up. It wasn't until I did some super deep research into this game to figure out what exactly was going on. I was actually surprised to find when I started reading through the patch notes and reading through the information on this game that they decided to release it on February 1st, 2021 into a fully released game. The game originally came out in early access on May 2nd of 2018. And I was really surprised by how little I felt was in this game at this moment now. And in fact, you're watching the second time I started. Actually, it's the third time I started because I'd picked it up. I started, I got into it. I was like, hey, you know, this game needs a lot of work. It needs some bake time. And I just kind of dropped it. I was going to do a video about it. And I felt like I was just kind of beating the game up. So I did some more research to figure out why the game was in the state that it's in right now. You would think a game that's been released in early access for almost 3 years and a game that's gone from early access to a full release game would have a lot more content in it. So as I got to reading through their patch notes on July 2nd, 2020, they actually posted about the difficulties that they were having with the game and the fact that due to the issues from 2020, one of their team members had left, and with that team member leaving, they had to scrap the old code and start over. If we fast forward to February 1st, 2020, they post that they are swapping the branches. So the old game is going to go away. The new game that you're seeing on the screen is going to come in. And with that, they're taking the game out of early access and releasing it as a fully finished game. Now, I personally have no idea why they would take it out of early access. Maybe it was because they want you to know that it's going to be $14.99 no matter what, and you are going to get everything that they continue to develop. I don't know. I think it was a bad move to take it out of early access. I rate early access games on a sliding scale, so I rate them on a scale of, okay, they're working on it, they're developing it, and I would rate this game the same way if it was still in early access. But since it's fully published and developed, I can't rate it that way. This is a game that is still being developed, should still be in early access, and it's not, so I've got to look at the game like it's finished today. Now you guys might say, well, that's not fair, Whack. You really should look at it as an early access game. The problem is, as a standard consumer coming to this page, it doesn't look like an early access game. And I feel like that's why they have quite a few negative reviews on there, and then the rest of the reviews that they have are mixed. People have picked the game up, they've tried it out, they don't understand that it's not fully developed or it's not fully published. They are not going to dig into what's gone on in the past like I did for this video. That kind of research just doesn't happen from the standard consumer. They're just gonna go, oh, this game is totally not developed, and they're going to refund it and maybe never look back. Now, some of the base mechanics are there, and what is there is actually pretty good. It's pretty darn good, and I see a good starting point for them to continue with the platform, to continue with the development of this game. However, I did spend almost 2 hours of gameplay trying to figure out how to drink water, and I still have not been able to drink water in any of my gameplays. And yes, I went all the way to the point where I created a pot where I could then pick up water. It says it's for transporting liquids. You have to bake it in a kiln. I went through all that process and still was not able to find a place where I could drink water. Now, it certainly isn't the first time that I've seen games take a wild redevelopment turn just like this game. And the other games, I'm going to leave those out. I'm not going to talk about those at all. But what those things have that this doesn't right now is those core systems. Those core systems need to be in place. You've got to be able to do things like drink water. I don't want to die once every 45 minutes because I can't get a way to transport water. The actual function of transporting water in the bucket just isn't actually working. I could not figure out a way to harvest water. Now, all things considered, for a game that has technically been in development for about 8 months, if we take that July 2nd announcement as the new development cycle, and we are now in March of the following year, it's being developed or been developed for right around 8 months. It's got some good core mechanics in it. It's got some things that are decent, but there is still a lot that needs to be done in this game. There's still a lot that needs to be developed in this game. Like, I'm gonna go back to the water thing. It's one of those things that's entirely game breaking at this point in time, because you literally are on a cycle of dying from thirst once you start the game until you die, and then you start that cycle over again. And you can see right now my water's at 0, and I end up actually dying just searching for a place that I can get water in the jar that I'm running around with in my hand, and I never have been able to find a place to do that. And speaking of water, there's currently no run animation, there's no drowning, there's none of that in the game. There are some really cool things to look at, really cool features in the game. However, again, it just feels like it's 100% early access, and it is fully published on Steam. And you guys may say, well, you're beating a dead horse here with the whole fully published on Steam thing, and why are you going over that so much? There's plenty of places in the gaming industry where games have stayed in an early access or an alpha state for years upon years, and I just don't understand why the devs would take it out of an early access state when they're redeveloping it. Now let's talk a little bit about base building. The base building in the game is pretty simple. What you do is you lay the schematic for the building, and then you bring the resources to it. You do have to hit those things with your hammer. So some of those things take a long time to actually craft, and it adds to the grindiness of building, but it still wasn't very difficult or wasn't very hard to get it done. All in all, I'm going to continue to watch the development of Journey of Life, but right now I'm going to tell you that it's just not ready for gameplay. It is still early development in my mind, and it needs a lot of work to bring it up to par with what they had before even. So I've looked at some of the older videos from YouTubers that were covering this game when it first came out and when it was first being developed, and I can tell you I feel like they were really far into the development of this game, and they have a lot of work to do to get back to that point. And they are developing what looks to be 4 different game modes. So there's the sandbox mode, which is going to be more of your admin mode. It's going to be more of your god mode where you can just spawn things in. And then they are developing a survival mode, which is what I'm playing here. And as well, they are working on a story mode that's still grayed out. You can't even try it. And then there is also a multiplayer mode. And they really do have quite a large and technical system in place for building and manufacturing and everything like that. I can tell that just by going into the creative mode and kind of spawning some of those things in. The problem that I have is that the core mechanics of the game at this point just aren't there. And so as people pick this game up and they start playing it, they're really going to be looking for those core mechanics. Because if I can't get to the point where I'm enjoying the long-term benefits of that very intricate crafting system, then there really isn't a point in continuing to play the game. Now I want to know in the comments section below, have you played Journey of Life before? Did you play it before they changed the game to the current state? Or have you just picked it up recently? Am I totally derping on how to get water, or is there actually no function in the game to get water currently? The whack moments in this video were sponsored by my legendary supporters. If you'd like to become a member, you can click the button below that says join. That'll give you all the details. And if you want to continue the fun, there's 2 videos on the screen. You can pick one of those to watch next. Please don't forget to whack the like button, and if you're new to the channel, I'd encourage you to click that subscribe button, click that bell so you get notified when I upload another video.